I now call the Crosby Township pre-budget meeting to order for November 6, 2025 at 7 p.m. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Yes.
Mr. Lumen?
Yeah, here.
Mr. Hyde? Here. All right. First part of this meeting, we need to,
Well, I'll go ahead. I'm going to turn the
Yeah.
meeting over to Charlie.
okay. First part of this meeting, we have to adopt a
Do you have a?
resolution.
You need a mic. Sorry. Hit that here. It's on pause. Mute.
Okay. First part of this meeting is that we have to adopt a resolution to accept the revenue, the tax base that's coming into the community. So the audit office sent it to me 2 days after our last meeting, and so I didn't get it filed in. So our first part of this meeting is simply to get the trustees to accept a resolution that we accept what Hamilton County has told us, because they've asked me to verify it, but I got no ability to figure that out. They'd have to give me all the properties, their values, and the mill rates. In order to do that, they didn't provide any of that information. So at this point, I'm going to ask the trustees to give me a first and a second on the motion to accept a resolution that takes the tax money from the county that says, I will put it into the budget to make that the approved revenue source for this year.
I got this. So we need a resolution number.
You know what it is, no? 26?
Do you have the book?
Yeah, we got a book.
It's either 20 or 21, somewhere in there.
26, I think.
Is it that far?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and read the
All right.
resolution?
Resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor. So as soon as we get the resolution number, we will proceed.
I'd just go ahead and read it. We
All
can
right.
put the resolution in later.
The Board of Trustees of Crosby Township, Hamilton, Ohio, met in Crosby Township Center session on the 6th day of November 2025 at the Office of Trustees with the following present: me, Dennis, and Chuck, and move to adopt the following resolution. Whereas the Board of Trustees of Crosby Township, in accordance with the provisions of the law, has previously adopted a tax budget for the next succeeding fiscal year, commencing January 1st, 2026, and whereas the Budget Commission of Hamilton County, Ohio, has certified its action therein to this board, together with an estimate by the county auditor at the rate of each tax necessary to be levied by the board, and what part of thereof is without, and what part within the 10 mil limitation. Therefore be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Crosby Township, Hamilton, Ohio, that the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and its certification be the same as hereby accepted, and it be further resolved that there and be and it hereby levied on the tax duplicate of said township the rate of each tax necessary to be levied within and without the 10 mil limitations as follows. Acceptance rates. Resolved that the fiscal office and the board of be and is hereby directed or to certify a copy of this resolution to the county auditor of Hamilton County. So I need a
27.
so this will be resolution
27.
27-2025.
Okay, the way it was worded is that
You would make the motion. then.
no, the way it was worded on the first page. That these people moved the adoption of the following resolution, so they already said we moved up there, so I caught that when you were reading it. So if you want to second it,
Okay.
just go ahead.
So I will second the motion. So I need a roll call.
Mr. Hyam?
Yes.
Mr. Lohman?
Yes.
Mr. Heiss?
Yes.
All right, this resolution passes. It'll be entered into our resolution book, and I will send that signed document from the trustees, and then I will
Sign
sign
it
also
here,
the
or-
second letter. It basically says I'll put it into the budget, and I'll ship that out of here tomorrow, once I
Here.
get back to the office on Friday.
Yep.
So that will end the resolution meeting. We had to make it public and transparent for the community, so we'll get that recorded, and that one's done. Now we're ready to,
You need your mic.
oh, better use the mic. Yep, I'm usually loud enough. But, okay, we're going to move into the pre-budget planning session. And the idea here is that you can see we've got various templates up here. We're going to number ourselves off after I follow the agenda. I'll read the agenda. Then we'll do high level, what do we want this community to be in 10 years? In the last trustees meeting, I introduced the idea we ought to be planning for 10 years out, 2035. Then we back it down and say, okay, what's it going to look like in 3 to 5, 1 year, the next quarter? And we'll fill in these various things, and I'll explain each of those as I walk around. Let me cover the agenda. All right. So we've had the first couple. I use a tool called the PACER. It's purpose, agenda, code of conduct, expectations, roles and responsibilities, and results. You all can see, can you see it well enough to understand what's on the paper? Yeah. All right. Okay, we'll do that. So let me just go through this. Then we'll go through the vision summary. That's these elements that are on the board. And then we're going to break out into teams around these tables and say, what should we set as priorities in 26 from each of these departments? And I've given the trustees the page to say administration or the administrator, because we're in the process of trying to hire an administrator. And then we've got community development and the seniors program. We've got maintenance. We got zoning. We got the we'll call it the it's EMTs and fire department, fiscal office. What do we want to accomplish? So Jamie, I'll need you to help me there. Right now, since we don't have an administrator, bits and pieces like who does HR here? Well, everybody. Some days nobody. Who does IT? Sometimes nobody, sometimes it's fragmented. So we'll need to put that underneath the fiscal office unless it goes under the administrator's office, and that's possible. And then over here we got maintenance, and I actually added to them development, because we need to somebody other than one of the trustees has to be the project manager for all of that. I've been getting all these bills, and Dennis says, yeah, it's all good, it's all good. But I think we ought to say, what do we need to develop in this community? Is it a playground? Is it something else that we need? And so I put that on that sheet. So that's the way this evening is going to go from 7 till about 9 o'clock. Let's just review the rest of this agenda. So you see down here where we got proposed initiatives for 2026. I know this is all brand new for us. Usually we just sit down and say, how much money are we going to spend in what buckets? Well, how do we know if that's helping us get to where our goal is? And I used this quote earlier with Brenda. If you think about the Alice in Wonderland, and you got Alice going through this maze and comes up to this Y in the fork in the road and asks the cat, which way should I go? And basically said, well, where do you want to go? Well, I don't know where I want to go. Then the answer was, any road will get you there. Any road will get you there if you don't know where you're going. So where are we going? This community is developing quite quickly with 400 houses here and 400 houses there. Who knows where this is all going to go, but is there a master plan? I just asked Rick about land use plan, and evidently we've got one that gets updated about every 4 or 5 years. Maybe it needs to be updated more often than that based on the speed. I think I saw, in fact, Diane, I think, gave me the article one day, that this is the fastest growing part of Hamilton County. Well, is it going to grow with some plan in place, or is it just going to be haphazard? Anybody that brings in a deal and talks to Rick about zoning and gets it approved, that's okay, or is that not okay? I have no idea. So we're going to go around the room, get all of our ideas, we'll bring them up here, and this is the first time I think we've had cross-functional input into each of these project areas. What do we need zoning to do? Everybody contributes. Maintenance, everybody contributes. Over here for the EMT and firehouse, everybody gets to contribute. Administration, fiscal office, community development, and our senior citizens activities. So we need to all contribute. So this is meant to be a highly collaborative effort tonight. So we are the leaders of Crosby Township, and we need to basically up our game for planning and then execution and fiscal responsibility as we go into 26. So code of conduct, ground rules, Robert's Rules of Order. I probably don't have time to teach that tonight, but if we ever want to do that as part of one of our meetings, I can say these are the Robert's Rules. This is how a lot of organizations adopt them, and this is how they run their meetings. Ideas of transparency, authenticity, servant leadership. We could do a session on that some night. One person takes the mic and takes the time and the floor at a time. Professional etiquette, courtesy at all times. Active listening, which means you listen, you reiterate, you say, did I get this right? What else can I say to make sure I capture the idea? So it's active listening. Curiosity. Open ideation. And we probably don't have time to talk about all these concepts tonight, but these are core concepts. Sergeant at Arms may be engaged. We've got the sheriff here tonight just in case we might need them. Honesty and integrity with facts, respect and empathy, collaboration, open brainstorming, no derailing of the meeting. We stay on the agenda. No more pointing fingers and you. No, it's all in first person I. So that's one of those professional etiquette things. And then I know Doug is going to inject time limits, and they'll be enforced tonight as we move through this, and he'll do that in all of our future trustees meetings. So I might need some help on some of these other areas like expectations. Discuss and make appropriate decisions as needed for 2026, setting priorities and goals based on the elements of our strategic vision. So we do the strategic vision first, and then we get into each of our areas and say what needs to be accomplished before we talk about money. And then we'll do money in early December because we got to put in the budget for that in early December and get that put in there. And then the results, I usually break it out into 3 things. What were the decisions made? What are the actions that need to be done? So who needs to do what by when? So those are actions. And then we get to, has there been any other kinds of motions or resolutions? I've never had to use that in corporate America, but if there's motions and resolutions, then we'll do that. So those are my templates that I use. We announce next meetings. We'll figure out the budget meeting when we get together on Monday night, and then we'll go around the room and get everybody's contribution. Again, the way that'll work, you're sitting at your tables, you'll write your things down, you'll get your teammates to give you some feedback on that. Then we'll come up here, we'll put the post-it flip chart up on the wall, we'll ask for contributions from this entire, we'll call it leadership team for Crosby Township. We'll get that, we'll put that in there, and that'll be the document that we'll use going forward in the budgeting meetings. Any questions about where our journey is going to take us over the next hour and 45 minutes? Everybody good with where we're going? All right. So let me go around and do a little teaching. Turn the lights back up if you would, Jim, because I need to walk around the room here and teach a couple things. All right. BHAG. In this community, that means basically where do we want to be in 10 years? BHAG came from a guy named Jim Collins. And big, hairy, audacious goals. It says, okay, let's think outside where we've been before and not be constrained. Big, hairy, audacious goals. That's what this one stands for. And in our case, we'll reframe that to say, where do we want this community to be? Do we want it to be a Liberty Township, a Blue Ash, something? And I'll just repeat what my wife told me earlier today. I want it to go back to be like it was 10 years ago. I don't think that's possible. The cat's out of the bag. Everybody knows what Crosby Township is about. It's got great schools. It's got good open land. We got parks. We got a lot of good things. What is our goal for this community in the next 10 years? Core values. What do we stand for? And I think Brenda wanted to volunteer to kind of lead this group, so we'll make sure that happens. But we need everybody. We're gonna count off by the numbers 7, because I got 7 templates up here. Core values would mean, how do we hire? What attributes do they have to have? What would get somebody fired if they violate a core value? Some places, like in financial services, if you break the core value of financial integrity and lying to the public, you go to jail. We won't send you to jail, but you may not be part of our community. We need to say, what are the running rules? What are the guardrails that will make sure that we behave in an appropriate manner within this community? What are we going to hold everybody accountable to? Purpose. Why do we exist? Why do we exist? Well, we could say simple things like spend the tax base. Well, maybe that's not good. Maybe I'll go to Jason's area over here. It says be able to respond to fire and EMT emergencies within 3 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever you think is the right number, right? Because these will drive us when we say what is our purpose. Then it'll say why we exist. Answer the why question before the what question, before the how and the who and the time frame. That's purpose. Then we'll say strategic priorities. You'll see that I got 3 to 5 years. So are these supporting, in line with the BHAG? Is it going to help us get there? What's the one for the 1 year and the quarter? And then what do we stand for? What's our promises to our community? Is our promise to bring them great activities for seniors and the community for entertainment and education and maybe even exercise, health and wellness? What does that look like? That could be part of our brand promise of what we're going to communicate. And I said to the quarter, I think I've already covered all 7. These are the driving frameworks which we will then look and say, all right, this is what we thought about doing in 26. Are those all consistent with these high-level indicators of strategic importance and progress? That's what this is. This is really the framing for the content that we're going to develop later tonight for the priorities. Any questions about how this model actually works? Because then we're going to count off in 7s, around, and I'll make sure that, I guess it's you're number 2. All right, because I know that. All right, any questions about where we're headed? Yeah, Rick.
Okay. Item in the zoning table.
Yep.
Talk about zoning stuff.
Later, after we do these exercises, then we'll break out into the tables and we talk zoning, community development, maintenance, right? And then that's what's going to give us our pick list of what we might be able to do. Because after we say what we might want to do, we say, can we afford it? Do we have enough money to do all those projects? Or some of them have to slip into 27? Or there's a possibility, can we reduce some of our spending in one of the other areas so we get more spending in this area, right? You got alternatives, or can we get more efficient, right? If we restructured the way we did this, and we drove cost and time out of those activities, then we could possibly move some money around, right? So it's all about prioritizing the money to the priorities of what we want to accomplish. Good question. Any other questions about where we're headed? All right. Vivian, you're going to be number 1. So you're going to appear in BHAG. 2, core values. Rick, how about strategic priorities, next 3 to 5 years? That's 3. 4, brand promise. Brand promise. 5, Brian, let's go over here, strategic priorities for the first quarter next year. 5, 6, let's go back up here. Purpose. Rick, purpose. And where's my 7th? I know I got 7. Yeah, there's 7 on the wall. What did I miss?
You got 7.
I got 7. Did I pick them all up? Okay, good. All right. So we back to 1. Okay, 1. You're going to be over there with Vivian on BHAG. You're going to be with Brenda on core values. Viv? Nope. 3, purpose. Okay. 4, 5, 6, 7. So Dennis, you're 6. You're 7. Doug, and then you're back to 1. So you're back on BHAG, Chuck. All right. Everybody break up. Go to your appropriate. Take some of these markers with you because you'll need these to write up on the flip charts. And let's try to execute this in the next 10 minutes.
What's one number 1? That one?
You're 3. 4. 4, I think, was Diane, I think. Were you 4? I think you were over here. Brand promises. 4. All right. Thanks. Appreciate it. All right. Have a good one.
Chuck, you want them?
Well, there's 3 of them. Did you get 3-year? I think you got the 3-year, didn't you? 1 year or 1 quarter? I think Brian got the 1 quarter. You might have got the 3. Here over there. Doug, are you 3 or 2 or 7? Okay, you're over with Brian then. You're in the quarter. Core values. Okay, that's 2. And Jason, you over here? 5. This one. Did we have anybody for this one? Did I get anybody? Yeah. Well, go with Rick. Okay. Yeah, we need at least 2 at everything. All right. What's the purpose of this community and how we're supporting it? Why do we exist besides spend money? Get money and spend money. What's our purpose? What's our why? What's our why? Okay. BHAG. All right. BHAG 2035. If you were going to go to the future and look backwards and you achieved your BHAG, you would be delighted that this community has these kinds of characteristics. What's its goal? Is our goal to be 25,000 people in a village on our own, a city on our own? Do we want to, as our BHAG, do not grow any? That could be a BHAG. Some people in this community would say, I don't want any more than 6,000 people living out here. Well, but that's not going to happen unless we restrict the land use around us. Let's give you this example. An example was like I used to travel to London all the time, and I stay in villages. And all those villages are landlocked. After World War II, they all decided we are not going to cannibalize any more farmland. We're going to be self-supporting in all things farming, from the vegetables and fruits to and so their BHAG was, we do not want any farmland utilized. If you're going to build in those villages, you have to buy a building, tear it down, innovate it, and you're never going to grow the footprint. In America, we just say, just keep on pushing it out, right? Keep on gobbling up farmland. Well, we could say our BHAG is to continue to allow our farmland to be gobbled up. Or we could say, no, we're going to have restrictions on the use of our land to make sure that, so I don't know what your BHAG is. What's the goal? You want no more farmland being destroyed? We'll be satisfied looking back from 10 years and say no more farmland was consumed in houses? Or do we want some commercial, some light industrial? Do we want compact housing? Do we want $500,000 to $1.5 million, $2 million properties out here? Because there's parts of town that have those kinds of restrictions, right? You can't build on it unless you're willing to put $300,000 on a lot and put a $500,000 house on it. So the big egg there is, we're gonna have continued increase in property values. They're working over there, core values, Diane and Brenda. They're working it. They're just not standing up.
I just thought that's the one you missed, that's why.
No, I didn't miss it. I might have missed this one over here, but that's okay. We'll get to that one later. All right. So what do you want to accomplish in the
They would
first
have
quarter?
bought parts of Whitewater.
Besides pay back taxes. That's gonna be one of
It's the
mine.
only place I ever saw it bought. Then they had a chance to buy horses.
Well, yeah, well, there's some of that too, but it's too late to plan that. We're in the middle of execution. Okay, that's good. Yes. Yeah, good. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. We need input from the community, actually. I tried to encourage more people to come to that.
Okay, so what are we
They
doing?
didn't show up.
Things up here, like shots.
Housing on
I know, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I was busy. I was in Warren Township that way.
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
The sun, all that ground out there.
Yeah, so you got one, it says, what is it? Street rehab, that's good. That's good, objective and priority. Now, you might want to get a little higher. Where is that? Was that down here? Is this available? Whatever one you need to do. That's good.
Since I'm the city of Harrison.
That's the reason I said,
Thing of it is, going up heavy.
Stop there, is it annex?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out this little bit thing.
Not right now, but watch that.
Like, I always say, it's that it's got to go up. It's got to go up.
Unless you knock down Chuck's house.
What does it say about parks?
Yeah, so, I mean,
And you put them on the black list, you can't fit in this. But anyway, just keep on, if that's the one you got, I use like 3 or 4. If you only got one, that's big enough. Let's make sure we get through it. Yeah, let's make sure we go through it and get it done. All right. Grand promise. All right. 3 to 5 years. 3 to 5 years. What do we want there for 3 to 5 years? Land use, development plan, that sounds good.
really, I mean, since 69.
Yeah. I think that would be good. A couple of friends down here, they basically say, there's no way, if I have an emergency, my house is gonna burn down or I'm gonna die. They're not gonna get your car. You got 3, 4, 5 minutes. That's it. After that, we're going around.
The bike trail goes right this whole time,
You're gonna be
so we can't.
leaving the property horizontal. That's it. If you find a third one, that would be great, but you don't have to. Norman's. Purpose
is mostly.
maintain status of the township. Norman's, that's a good one. Guide development, that's a good one. Maintain a safe community, I like that one. Family values, good. Family environment, that's good. Right, community involvement, I tried. I tried. You're on it. I know what's needed. They gotta speak up. Even if I have to go and send them out survey monkeys, whatever I gotta do. Survey monkeys free. I know how to use it. Yeah, that's good. All right, core values, we got it going. Diane, see, you can tell my writing versus hers. It's unbelievable, isn't it? She doesn't even want to admit that she's married to me because I can't type and they call her. Yeah, yeah. Well, Kevin, you know Kevin. His signature is a K and a scratch and an S and a scratch. That's it. That's all you can know.
Because that's on the edge. How
Yeah.
can we
Yeah,
keep our, that's on the edge,
yeah.
keep our small business and
Yeah.
grow. How can
Right.
we do that?
Do that.
How can I say that?
Say, while maintaining our quality of life, grow the community's, say, footprint in, properties and commercial development.
I know, I get it.
While maintaining
Maintain
country living, while maintaining that, grow commercial, light industrial, and house values. That would be good, right? They're going up crazy. Grow, light industrial, and, commercial businesses. Yeah, because sometimes people out here are gonna say, I don't wanna have to drive a half hour to get to the restaurant. Light industrial and, commercial.
I'm against restaurants and conferences. I'm against
Okay.
restaurants and Harrison.
That's fine.
Yes, yes, that's all.
That's fine. It's all your votes. I don't really care where you guys wanna take this. It's your township.
That's ripping.
I just write checks.
That's ripping.
I just sign checks.
I'm against all that stuff. I was telling everybody,
And the other thing was, and improving and increasing, housing values. Increasing housing values, because that drives tax rates up, tax, benefits. If you get light industrial, commercial, and you get house values up, guess what? You collect more taxes, you can do more things, you can build better, community centers, schools, all that. You can possibly build better hospital urgency cares, you know, rather than having to drive 15, 20 minutes. It's whatever, but 3 is good. That's good. All right. Are we ready to debrief? If we've got 2 or 3 things, and I think I did miss one over here, but I'll fill it in or guess at it later. It's the one here. All right. All right. Jim. That Jim. He's the big head guy. Jim, Vivian, and Chuck. Pick a leader and debrief it for us.
you was number 1 pick.
All right. You were voluntold.
Okay, what do you want me to do?
Just walk through what your BHAG is. Everybody give Vivian some attention here.
Okay.
All right, Vivian, tell us, what is your BHAG for Crosby Township?
Okay, we would like to see, to stop the thank you. To stop the city of Harrison from annexing.
Okay, that's a good goal.
The parks, we want to keep them, to stop them from buying up all the property around.
Okay,
We want to maintain the country living feeling,
Yep.
but grow with light industrial and maybe some commercial businesses, increasing housing value.
all right. What do we think? Do we have more to add to that? Anybody have anything else that you think this community should do over the next 10 years? Because eventually I'm going to say, quantify that. You said no parks, no additional parks, maybe this and maybe that. So we have to put them into quantified. Then we got to see how that tracks to 3 to 5, 1 year, all those other, see whether or not we're on that trajectory or not, okay? All right, let's thank Vivian, Chuck, and Jim. All right. Core values over here.
Okay. That's Brenda and me. Okay, when I taught at the high school, there was a friend of mine that had a sign on her door, and I thought it was a great sign. It said, "Integrity is doing the right thing when no one is looking." And core values has to do with integrity. Transparency and truth, always. We want to know what's going on. We want it to be truthful. We want to serve our community. We want order, paperwork in order, accurate records, organization, finding things. Yes, I know you mentioned that. We want to set good parameters. We want guidelines, principles for future success and prosperity. And we want to promote positively our community, and we want all people to do that.
All right, any other additions to core values? We hire to them, we fire to them, we encourage them, we hold people accountable to them. Any more? It can be a short list, and starting with something like this would probably make a big improvement, right? So,
Can I say something?
absolutely, you're part of the team.
Well, no, I was just going to say, I know you mentioned some other things when you looked at core values, you know, what the results of them could be, but if all these things are in place by all of us, it's going to be easy to hire or to know what the parameters are, know what the guidelines are. These kind of things, deep set, bloom right off the bat.
How do you know if you've got really good core values? Everybody's doing it all the time, and it just happens.
Yeah, and it happens.
Looking,
That's right. That's right. When no one's looking.
when no one's looking.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right. Let's thank them for a job well done. What about purpose?
Purpose, maintain status as a township.
Yep.
That's important. Guide development. Maintain a safe community for everybody. Family values. Friendly environment. Everybody can get along. And invite community involvement.
Yeah.
Our neighborhoods.
Right, okay. Any other suggestions to our purpose, why we exist?
I have attend the needs of the township.
Okay. Write that, yeah, write these couple things up here.
Attend the needs of the township.
Attend the needs of the township.
We got the safety one up there, Doug.
Okay.
Yep, safe community.
Well, I meant like safe, like fire protection.
Yeah, so I guess I've bundled all that, but we can always annotate it, say, okay, fire, police, emergency, for our kids, safe environments for our kids. We even talked about safe for our seniors against cybercrime. We've seen that popping up over the last couple meetings. All right, let's thank Rick for a job well done. And Jim. And Jim. All right, Jim. He's already taken it.
He's in the green.
He's in the green, all right. Good.
Jason, you're up.
Jason, you're up. Strategic priorities, 3 to 5 years.
Land use, development plan, less density.
Good,
I'm not sure what a PUD projects. Okay.
okay.
Find property for a second fire and EMS station down south along 128, Blue Rock area.
Yep,
Better website with more information
all right.
for the public.
Any other suggestions, 3 to 5? Dennis has got some, I can tell.
Yeah, I was,
I have
I would put on there, get a grant to develop the park on River Road. That was the old gravel pit. And if we could redo that and make it a more valuable property, that was my 3 to 5 year.
Okay, great. All right, let's thank them for a job well done. Rick, Jason, and Dennis. All right, notice as we get into some of the.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just, tech competence.
Tech competence, all right, improve our tech competence and maybe our tech infrastructure, yeah, that would be good. Notice, the comment I was gonna make on this is, notice those are gonna drive some need for money, right? 3 to 5 years out is not that far away, and our tax base probably isn't gonna go up enough to pay for all those. So, back to Dennis that says, hey, maybe a grant. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm usually loud enough, so I didn't know. But yeah, I know it's a recording, yeah. So it's going to need money. So we either got to get more people here to pay more money, which they don't like that, or we bring in light industrial or commercial that pays us some tax benefits, so we can increase it with taxes that we draw from those kinds of organizations. BHAG. Bring in more businesses, right? So you get more tax base there, you get more taxes, and then that generates opportunity to spend those taxes on these types of things. No free lunch, right? So you got a long list of things. We got 3 to 5 years to do this. That doesn't mean it's going to be easy. It won't take resources, money, and people in order to carry these things out. So thanks, Jason. The 1 year we didn't get to, I guess I skipped it, but Dennis has got some things, so tell us what you got for the 1 year. Okay. Pass on to Dennis. Sidewalks.
So we need a sidewalk off the parking lot to go to the shelters for people that are handicapped. Right now, they have a hard time doing that. I looked at doing that when we repaved the parking lot out here, and I thought the figure they gave me was too much money. And so I declined it at that time, so we need to revisit that.
I'd put sidewalk/driveway.
Okay. All right, we got 1 to 2 pickleball courts. And if you would put a slash up there on that sidewalk or driveway, access sidewalk/driveway to the shelters. Is that right, Doug?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Okay, good. I like it.
All right. Upgrade the phone system in this place.
Yeah.
We got more, and internet.
Yeah.
Yep.
I gotta see if I spelled this right.
It's okay. What?
Strength.
My grammar correction official. What's that say?
Strengthen cybersecurity.
We started the project today.
Huh?
He was in the building,
Oh.
all 3 buildings, and looking around.
All right, that's
We're gonna have to invest some money.
all I got.
Found one server over at Jason's place that said, wait, it says, it's probably 10 years out of spec. 10 years out of spec. So, here we go. Who's got brand promise?
Oh, that's not what I was coming for.
Oh, okay.
I want to add playgrounds
Okay.
to that list. 1 year.
And playgrounds within a year. Yeah,
You want to do, anybody want to do this?
I think we can do it in a year. Think so? Yeah, I got a connection. Okay. Yeah, it's the best playground infrastructure in the world, and it's got a patent. A little more expensive, but we'll put it this way. The kids are protected from concussions at 300% what normal places are. It's 30 to 50 degrees cooler on the surface. So if they get close to the surface, so these are great for sporting facilities too. And have you ever noticed whenever they put in one of these playgrounds or fields and people run on it, they kick up all this black dust from those the rubber nuggets? That stuff is getting in their eyes, in their throat, in their lungs. In 20 years, we're going to have all kinds of cancers because of it. And then my second son's a water engineer. He has to, if any of that stuff flushes into the streams, the lakes, the rivers, he's got to get all that crap out, because otherwise it goes into our faucets, we drink it, and 15 years later we have brain cancer. Those little nuggets, those little broken up. So we have to start making our playgrounds and our fields safer. Safer. Yes.
Also, those AstroTurf fields
Yep.
are a breeding ground for
MRSA,
MRSA.
are they?
My daughter played college.
Yep.
soccer,
And got MRSA?
has a huge problem with the teams.
Yep. It does not surprise me at all. And those things are popping up all over the world because guess what? We're a sports society in the world. and yet we put down crap and we let our kids experience it and our athletes experience it.
The thing too is there's maintenance involved in AstroTurf. They need to water that turf.
Right.
It's just not, you just don't put it down and forget about it. They have to water it every so often, you know. And then, like you were saying, when my daughter played soccer, my car was full of those little black pellets all the time.
Yeah. So there's a lot of downsides. So I'm working with a company to try to make this other initiative happen.
Charlie,
Yep.
the playground, that will be handicap accessible?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It has to meet, what is it, ADA or something, all that stuff? Yeah, it's got to be that, and it's got to be safe. I understand what we've got out there. We could have $1 million lawsuit just any time because it's in trouble. So anyway, brand promise.
Okay, well, when we were discussing the brand promise, we felt like it was a lot connected to core values because that's what we want to be known for. Right. So we have service, integrity/transparency, stewardship/frugal with the finances, honesty, respect, a sense of community, and innovation. But we felt like there should be also a balance between green space and development. We don't want to completely lose the fields, the feeling, the kind of being in the country, and that can be done. It's difficult, but it can be done. So these were we felt we should promise as a brand of Crosby Township.
So if we were to accomplish all those things, how much better would this community be? It's a lot better, right? Our property values go up, our kids get better education, they get better mentoring and examples because they see all of us practicing these things. So I think we're in a great place already, but could it be even greater? As I've said in the past, don't let good stand in the way of being best. We're good, but could we be best? And then that best might even go forward a little bit and say, well, what was best 2 years ago is no longer best. And that's the reason we got to revisit these kinds of principles every year and saying, are we achieving the best with all these elements every year, and it keep on pushing the envelope a little bit further along. All right, we got quarter. This was Brian, and who else was working on this side? Rick? Nope. Oh, Doug, that's right. Come on over, Doug. All right, what do we want to do in the first quarter of 26?
First quarter of 2026, we'd like to get the street rehab bid and the bid accepted so they can get the work started in the second quarter. Hire an administrator, have a maintenance plan in place, and upgrade our computer systems / security systems.
All right, who else has got some additions for this?
Well, I got one I forgot.
Okay.
One of the things that we need to think about is, and I think we've talked about it once before and it becomes costly, is our phone system is antiquated. Everybody's cell phone is better than what we have here now. And if you call Jason's firehouse and they're not there, you go to the voicemail. And it could be hours before they come back if they're transporting a patient. So, you know, we could do better. It's just how big of a pill do we want to swallow? But, you know, to me, I think that would be important. I know at one point in time we were talking about this, and sometimes it's overkill, but, you know, there's a thing that you can have the phone system call Charlie's cell phone or Dennis's cell phone. You can do it. Or that, or you can leave a message in your mailbox instead of the general message. And, you know, and when I say this, I'm not pointing fingers, but if somebody calls at 12:15 and Brenda and Vivian are gone, it doesn't get answered until the next morning.
Yeah, and it is on a piece of paper that looks pink, it looks square, and somebody records it and puts it in a mail slot, and somebody retrieves it 4 days later.
Yeah. You know, and
that's the problem. So
yeah.
A new phone system and phone etiquette and phone follow-up is critical, especially if we're going to be a service-oriented entity to provide the best support we can to our community. Any other ideas on?
Upgrade our website.
At one point in time, correct me, Brenda, we don't have enough traffic on our website at one point in time to justify upgrading the website. It sounds great. Then it becomes another problem is we need a webmaster to maintain a website.
Look at it, because ours is antiquated. Yeah, and I would have a contra to that, Brian. Maybe because nobody goes there is because it never gets updated, or it gets updated little, and it doesn't have very many features that a lot of websites are expecting, especially with our population. Is our population coming in here, young families with kids, and they're developing and all that, and they have professional expectations that might be a little different than what we expected 20, 30 years ago? I think they do, right? They're coming into a community and they want to be served because they're busy with their kids, they're busy with their schools, they're busy with their churches, they're busy. So we have to do a good job, and maybe the website just is not attractive, it's not timely updated, it's not compelling. What would compel somebody to come to our website a couple times a week? It has to be fresh, has to be insightful. I don't know, Brenda, do we ever get something out there for cybersecurity for our elders to be out there so that they can see that there's going to be something coming up to educate them so they don't get hacked, taken on your list? Newsletter? Okay, so we're moving a few things, but
We're still looking for the speaker.
yeah.
Ohio Township website program.
Yes.
The goal of this program is to make having a secure, compliant, affordable website accessible to Ohio Township. Request a free website analysis.
I love it.
That comes from the Ohio Township Association, which we belong to.
Yeah, I love it, Rick. Thanks for bringing it to us. Let's make sure we get zero in the budget for an upgrade for our website and put that into our budget meeting in early December.
I have a question, Charlie.
Yes.
And this is probably 8, 10 years from now.
Yep.
The senior club is growing.
Yep.
Leaps and bounds. This is not going to hold
Right.
us.
Right.
So at what point do we start planning?
I'd say that's a 3 to 5 year. It's not next year because
Right,
we're going to have to
right.
arrange. But I say 3 to 5 years. You know, add more space administratively for all of our seniors. Upgrade the facility. You know, I was not kidding whenever I said there's some senior citizens that have full health and wellness facilities inside. They run all kinds of classes.
Right.
They do education, and you know,
Right.
I'll volunteer Diane to come teach some technology once in a while and bring up speeds for Excel, PowerPoint, all that, all that.
Is that
But
your wife?
that is my wife.
okay.
That's my Diane. Meet Diane. Diane, meet Diane. Yeah.
I just want to show you this real quick.
Okay.
I can continue
Yep.
with my-
So put that over there 3 to 5 year. It's over there in the corner. Just write down, upgrade the community center.
I have a call in and haven't received word yet about a speaker that will come, but this is our newsletter that went to all the
Okay.
homes in
Yep.
Crosby Township.
Yep.
It's to be announced, meaning when they get back,
Yeah.
and I have a date, cybersecurity scam prevention presentation. So, there you go.
That's wonderful. All right. A few months ago, we might not have even thought that should be part of our priorities. It's now starting to bubble up. It's a priority. We're getting people who are getting taken advantage of. So let's educate them and then give them a hot number. You know, when we get a new phone system, they can call a scam hotline in Crosby Township, and it goes to the right people, and we help them.
I just think too the deputy sheriff gets credit for just always coming in, and he's been making that very clear lately.
Right.
And we thought, wow, we've got to get this out to the people. So we're grateful for the information coming from Hamilton County deputies.
Yeah, we're starting. Yeah, Brian.
That's great, but we also need to put out the Harrison number because not all of Crosby Township has the sheriff's response. Only where I live, only the city of Harrison will respond. The sheriff office doesn't come to my neighborhood.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, maybe this is another one of those that needs collaboration across our various townships. We put a collaboration in for our sheriff support, right? We got sheriffs that now patrol, I think it's Whitewater and Crosby and maybe Harrison Township. I'm not sure if that's solidified.
Fire department.
Fire department? Is it
Yeah.
fire?
fire department collaboration is.
Okay, collaboration.
that.
So, yeah, we need to look at how do we collaborate across our communities to give better support to, whether it's kids or seniors or whoever, we get better support to all of our constituents. All right. Now that we've gone around the room, was that useful? Was this the first time we've ever done something like this? Would this be something that might need to be refreshed? I'll key it all in, of course. Key it all in, get it out to everybody. What'd you think of this exercise? I use this. It's called the Fist of Five. 5 is really good, and if I see any of these out there, I know I need to hire somebody else. That's a 0. So a Fist of 5 evaluation of this, and then we'll talk about what we might want to do with it in future years. So what's your evaluation? Raise it up. All right, we got a bunch of 5s. All right.
You know what I learned through this too is that we all are on the same page and we have a lot in common, and our thoughts and our hearts are in a lot of the same places.
Yeah, isn't that wonderful?
Yeah. So
Now we got to leverage it. That's wonderful. Teamwork makes the dream work. And we got the dream up here, right? The 10-year BHAG is really the dream, right? And then these other are strategic elements to help us get there. And once we go through all of our tables, we'll have priorities from the various functions and departments. And then when we get together in early December, we say, okay, where are we going to spend our money? Hopefully it's on the things that are most important that will track us toward our BHAG and meet our purpose and achieve our core values and all these types of things. So it looks like I got a Fist of 5 of a lot of 5, so it sounds like we ought to do this again next year to help us out. And so I'll key it in, we'll put it out there, we'll refresh it every year, be part of this budgeting and planning cycle each year. And then guess what? I'll hold us accountable to say, did we do what we said we were going to do every quarter? And I'll report to the trustees to say, hey, this is what we accomplished, this is what we're late on, this is the reason we're late on it, we need to push it out to the next quarter or the next month, whatever it is, and we start to build momentum, right? Anybody familiar with the concept of a flywheel? I should ask a couple of the mechanical kinds of guys, right? Flywheel, when it first gets started, the inertia is very, very hard to move it. But once you get that flywheel going, it keeps on moving faster and faster, and whatever its job is, it accomplishes more work in less time and less effort over time. It's called the flywheel. So we want this kind of initiative to be the front end of that flywheel so that this community can move forward faster, cheaper, better on an ongoing basis. All right. Do you all need a break before we get into this next activity where we do the tables? Or are we okay just to keep the pedal to the metal? And who drives fast cars? Just keep going. All right. So now what we're going to do is, some of you have already begun, what would be in your areas, and we got the administrator up here on the trustees, but we got each of these areas, and I'll sit down with Jamie on the fiscal office, because we have maybe 1 or 2 challenges that we need to address. And we'll all brainstorm. So the way this will work is whoever's at those tables that can lead that, say, hey, these were my ideas. Let me get all of your inputs into these ideas. Then we'll bring those up, make sure those are all on these posted flip charts. We'll put them up on the wall. Then we'll talk about them, and we'll get everybody's collaboration, right, that we've already started to get everybody to collaborate on these contents. And this ends up being our what list for 2026. For next year, these are the whats, and then I'll say, okay, now go figure out what is the best way to deliver those whats. Who should do the work? How's the work going to get done? How are you going to make sure? And we talked, Brian, in any of these proposals, it needs to be, what is the timeline, right? The time to do it, the scope and quality to do it, and the price. It's not just the price. And we got to be thinking a little bit outside the box on how are we going to fund this? Because if we end up with more ideas than we fund for our tax base, then we say, well, we got some grant opportunities. Let's go do that. Or let's get some sponsors. I'll just give you an example. Brenda, and maybe Jim, this would also be for you, is that my son Brian is raising $500,000 for Hobner Field up there at White Oak Athletic Field. A lot of us have been up there for our kids. He's raising $500,000. Hobner gave them the original property, and then they've developed it, but he's raising $500,000. So why can't we get some sponsors? Would it be nice to have sponsors for a baseball field, a playground equipment, a set of pickleball courts, whatever? Let's get sponsors, right? And put their names on there and get the community involved and help financing some of these special projects to help us, because that is free money. It's not going against the taxes that we're collecting. It's not going against anything. It's just saying, hey, we're building this facility. Would you like to contribute and put your name on it? I'd like to see the Espel field. Now, Rick, you're in a bad spot. You're a trustee. But transfer most of that business over to your, what is it, son-in-law? Family members. You don't own it. You're just an employee. Right? All right. So we're going to put the pedal to the metal and keep on. So if you need to reorganize yourselves to appropriate tables and you got ideas, get those ideas on these flip charts, then debrief it with whoever's around the table. If you want to rotate from table to table, it's okay with me. I don't really care. Just get it up there. And then what we're going to do is put them up in the front of the room and get everybody's input. And that becomes then our list of all the whats that we want to accomplish. And then we'll start to say, in priority sequence, what are we going to do first? Who's going to do it? And we'll say how much money in December, all those types of things. We all good? All right. And I gave you the administrator because that's kind of, that's a new role and you've got to get it going. You want Rick to work with you guys, or you want him to work over in maintenance? I'll bring him over here for this list. Yeah? All right. Hey, Rick, you've been voluntold to come up and work with the trustees since I put you on the agenda as trustee-elect. Okay. Yeah, you are. So come up here and grab a chair and work with them on what do you want the administrator to do in 26? In 26, what will the administrator do? That's fine. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Of course you were. We couldn't think of anything. You fire out 1,000% every day, don't you?
Not every day.
Put that somewhere important.
I'll keep it.
Don't lose that.
I will not. In fact, this will be copied off and sent in tomorrow.
I hope so.
Yes, I'm already a month late. All right, who wants to volunteer to lead this wonderful group together? Who wants to lead it?
What, you want us to lead?
Doesn't matter.
What, everything, or
No,
just your table?
just your page, and put it up on the wall,
I
and
can
talk
do
through
that,
it.
unless you want to do
Tell
it.
us what you found, and then we're all going to contribute to say, what do you think about this? Yeah, big lights would be good. All right? All right, so administration.
We'll have to repaint the wall.
Everybody here knows we're trying to get an administrator, right? Yeah, we're trying to get an administrator, and we're trying to figure out what they should do, what they should be accounting for, and all that. Right now, can we say that a few of us do a few of those things, and some of the trustees do a few of those things, so it's sprinkled about. But here you go.
I can do this.
You can do that one?
Yep.
Okay, all right, go for it, Doug.
So for 2026, for administration, the trustees, get new administrator settled in and define that person's responsibilities. 2, upgrade phone security and website. 3, work with maintenance to upgrade roads. 4, attend certification programs from state offices. 5, look into having great parks contribute to the support of fire and EMS department. And 6, expand fiscal office.
last one's the biggest one.
Yeah, well, you need more talent. You need more space, but you need better talent. I understand. It's okay. I was told that you all needed me. As soon as you don't need me,
We'll
I'm
scratch
gone.
that one off.
I'm gone. Anybody else in the audience want to add to the list of what we want out of the administrator role? And this can evolve over time. This could be the initial list, and maybe we can get this knocked out in 3 to 6 months, and we'll add some more to it. It's okay. It'll evolve, because there's a few things that could be done. Yes?
Would the administrator be the spokesperson for the township?
All right, repeat that question.
Would the administrator be the spokesperson for the township when the newspaper wants answers?
All right, so we have a yes. So I would say the active voice up there would be identify who can say what to whom outside of the confines of this community, because we might need a PR person. We might. But it might be the administrator. But in the past, it's been, Dennis, you probably were our spokesperson from the trustees. So we just need to identify who's going to be able to speak on what to the public, whether it be the newspaper, whether it be the radio stations, the TV stations, email, right, all that stuff.
So this is administrator or trustees?
No, this is the administrator. I want the trustees to do, because we want them to be the decision makers, and all the work is done by all of us. And that includes the administrator.
The person needs to develop a personnel manual.
Yeah, personnel, HR.
And clean up the policies and procedures.
Okay, so we have policies and procedures that we want added to the list, and we want an HR personnel function established. Could be them, or maybe they got to get somebody to help them. Two things. First one was policy and procedure manual, and I say not only develop it but implement it, right?
The administrator.
And then secondly is beyond the policies and procedures, we need an HR function here, a personnel function that gets defined and implemented. So we, shall we say, we're compliant with all HR laws, and we're an empowering organization that basically attracts really great talent. So HR is, I call it human development, or some people will call it people vice presidents these days, because it's such a critical thing for a lot of organizations. So anybody else have ideas? Brian?
I don't know if this is part of HR or whatever. I don't know if this is part of HR or not, but with the fire department, to me, they should kind of oversee the healthcare, dental, vision, the healthcare, and kind of represent the trustees in the township on negotiate.
To our employees?
Well, to the firefighters, yeah. That there need to be a balance between the two sides.
Yeah. So something about, and I've just put it under HR bracket, benefits for both, we'll call it township administration and fire and EMS. Some kind of balance there of the benefits. Any other questions or things that need to be addressed by the administrative function? Again, this can evolve over time. That's okay. But we need a place to start. I think we've got a job description posted out there, and maybe there's some.
I don't know if this falls under HR.
Yeah.
But tracking and making sure personnel are participating in whatever type of training or, all of the things that are required to fulfill their job, that they're being equipped and that they're doing it in a timely manner versus nobody knows when, who, and what.
Yeah. What's required? Did we accomplish it? So there's a training and development function under HR usually. And we got some things that we have to do in order to be compliant with state law. But then there's beyond that, and it came up on one of these charts, how about improving our IT competence, right? That would be in there. And then there's things for Chief Davis's area where you got things you got to do to keep your guys compliant, to make sure they can be on trucks and answer calls. Yeah, good. Any other ideas before we get volunteer number 2? All right, let's thank the trustees here for the good administrative team. All right, Brenda, I think you were trying to be number 1, so you.
Oh, no, I'm fine with number 2.
You're okay with number 2?
I thought number 1 was awesome myself.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. All right, good. All right, come on up, and then we'll get another one lined up in the queue. Who wants to be next? Okay, I can volunteer somebody. I'll volunteer Rick. Rick will be next. All right.
She's going to put on that door. If we can be close to each other. I don't want
Is the camera hitting it okay?
the camera. Oh, I don't- You tell me, is that okay there or not okay?
And you need the mic.
Is that okay?
Can you see this?
Play off the camera, do I need to move it?
You
Okay.
Put it over here.
I think if you go over there, it's
Yeah,
good.
All right, take it over there.
Hello.
Hello. Is this mic on? Yeah.
Test, test, yeah, we got it. Yep.
All right. Community development and senior citizens programs. All right.
Well, Vivi and I kind of worked our discussion into this, especially, for the meeting coming up in December, into 5 requests that require, initially, we'll probably need some money. That's where we started. The first one was the pickleball court, and I know that, from what I understand, that Jim's working on that. I will just say, it's on our pros would be right quick, and we didn't write all the pros down up there because I thought I'd tell you what they are, and then you guys can add to it, or we can adjust it, whatever. Anyway, it's actually been requested by not only senior club members and community members, so that's just a 1 would be that it is something that has been requested. And I don't know if it's a plus or not, but I thought, well, we already have a basketball court. Are you finding that's a good plus, Jim, that we have one out there? I know it has to be all changed, but we don't know. I don't know a lot about it either. But at any rate, it does attract people of all ages to our park. And I know we've mentioned playground, and that's something we've talked about in the past, so people could play pickleball, their kids could play on the playground. It promotes active, healthy exercise. We do have some national champions in our senior group. And we could even offer instructions and classes based on the level of expertise. Maybe we could have beginner classes and things like that and have something like that. Our cons would be, we figured the cost, and we knew that Jim was looking into it, so we will look forward to seeing if that'll work or not. But that would be our first one, is the pickleball courts, which I've heard around the room already.
Yep.
Is that okay, or you
Yeah,
want
it's
to add
good.
to it?
It's good. Yeah, keep going to the next
going?
one. Yep.
Okay.
Transportation.
All right,
Yep.
my second one has to do with transportation for seniors. And as Diane mentioned earlier, we're up to close to 100 members right now. And we're kind of blossoming everywhere. We don't all do everything all the time, but it's like a menu. People can, step in and out of things that they'd like to do. If we had a van, they have to be at least a 15-passenger, I think, because it has to be able to hold enough people that it's worth its money that we would spend on it, first of all. It means that members can go out with other seniors their own age. They can socialize, and they're the ones that really can't drive themselves. Not only seeing new things, but I think they're starting to worry about driving at night. There's a lot of issues with as they begin to get older, to try and be a part of the world they were used to being, which is kind of depressing to them if they stay at home. A lot of them are on fixed incomes, can't afford to do a lot of things on their own, so transportation would make that helpful. One other thing that it would do for us is that we do get a really good service. They're very good with Council on Aging vans, but the drawbacks are you can only go to things in Cincinnati. You can only get picked up around 10:30, and you have to be back here by 3 so that their employees can get back to work and turn their vans in by 5. So you're really limited. You can't go right close to Indiana, can't do anything in Kentucky. You just have to do Cincinnati, but they're kind to do that for us. Having your own would give you a lot more freedom as far as planning and doing more things. And the other option that we thought about is if that's not the route to go, if we just recently did a Croswell bus for the first time, and it was about $2,800 for the day for gas, for whatever we had them do. They did everything we needed, and we went as far as the Tennessee border. So it was a one-day trip, but it's about that much money. So maybe we could switch the other way and go, okay, well, maybe there's some money set aside for a certain number of trips that we could take with that charter bus. So the cons would be the upkeep, vehicle insurance, the cost to purchase or rent. So that was on there.
Okay, next.
Next one is, it's really like the next step, I think, as I look around for our shelter. I would like to see us be able to get a better, a good portable PA system of some sort. We have an old one back here that we've used since before I came. I don't know when it was ever purchased, but the technology of it is lacking. I'm talking with the Harrison Center for the Arts right now. They came out and they actually do some rehearsing here, looked at our space and said, you know, next summer we would love to do something like Shakespeare in the Park. Well, they don't really have like a treasury, any amount of money to purchase these things. It's just a community group gets together. They've got dramatic skills and drama and all that, but they don't have the means to provide their own PA system, things of that nature. This is dealing with groups that don't have sound because they're not with the band. Band people generally have their own stuff. It's just other types of organizations that, you know, would be lacking. I was thinking that those kind of groups would include presentations, school performances, elementary, junior high, senior high things. We have some connections starting to build with the senior high, with the there's a drama group that came out and made money as a fundraiser, things like that. So we got some connections building, but it would be good if we had microphones that were wireless mics and could put music behind it. Because if those people try to do a play, they can't pass even a hand mic around. They're going to have the wireless clips on, and so those kind of things would just be an upgrade to what we have. And the other option or other thing to think about is I'm getting ready to meet, I've sent letters out. I have pastors who are interested in meeting here to get to know one another and share their visions and ideas for our community, as well as just collaborate as they can. But they could be doing Vacation Bible School out here, we could be having a worship service out here, youth gatherings, things of that nature, and it would just help if we had a way to have a PA that was suitable, that was portable, we could bring it back and forth. And I thought what I'd probably like to do with that, after it's considered, is to talk with someone like Jason Hollowell, that is a friend of mine, that he's an expert in that area, and he does a very good job across the country now with that. That's how he makes a big living. So we could say, get some people, not only him, but get some people that we could give them our vision, give them our idea, and see if we could, pull that off, and how much would it cost. That would be my thought about how to go about that.
Good.
The next one, my husband doesn't know I'm going to say this. Look. And neither does Jim Niehaus, your boss. But having said that, I think we need really to consider new marquee signs, that one that's over at the log cabin, the one that's at New Baltimore, and I'm going to tell you why. And it's got a lot of limitations, but it also needs to be, in my opinion, replaced for safety purposes. Let me just walk you through it. When you get there, you take your electric drill and you get the screws out of the bottom. It's a very heavy wood frame with pretty yellow plexiglass that doesn't show up too bad, but it's all, it's weathered. It's very old. Now, the trick is, once you get that up, and you kind of have to scoot the letters on the tracks are old, it's kind of tricky, and you're trying to get that all centered up. He has to prop a wooden stick, and I've gone with him. The wooden stick holds that piece up that lifts up on each side. And when you get the stick up, you got to be really careful, because if you kind of, he has to bend over, because everybody does, it's taller than me. I could just bend a little bit, but he has to bend over. Now, when I was looking and trying to figure things out, I had a tendency to back up a couple steps, at which my backside kind of bumped that stick. Well, when that happens, that thing that's heavy falls down on it hits either your head, your neck, or your vertebrae back here. It just goes bam. And it's happened to him, and almost everybody I ever knew that did that has had that happen to them. No matter how careful you are, you can just step sideways, and it's just an old stick that goes there. So my thought is, for safety reasons, and it would just look updated and clear, visible, all the good things about it, we just need to look into maybe something more like digital or whatever we can possibly afford. But I don't really, I think Vivian, everybody who's ever been with you you're probably good at it, and you don't hardly get hit or bumped, but sometimes it's happened. It's either that or you hit your head on the corner because it's up like this, you go over and you get your letters, you come back and you didn't notice that you didn't duck enough, and then that point gets you right about here. So I think that's important.
Go electronic.
Got it. Okay, I'm trying to hurry so I don't.
Yep.
How are we doing?
Keep on.
Okay, all right. Now I'm excited about this. This is my vision. This is just an idea, but I think it's kind of cool. Everybody in America, as you know, is going to celebrate the 250th birthday of America, and the Crosby Township is going to participate. To celebrate that birthday, I've been planning on a special celebration that we could host here in Crosby Township that involves a lot of people. It could be a wonderful evening for our community and beyond, and there needs to probably be a little bit of funds. I think a lot of it is going to be volunteered, and it's not going to be extremely costly, but some things will cost. Here's the idea. I've been working with getting the yes, I'll do it, I want to be a part of it, and sit around a conference table that hasn't happened yet, but here's all my yeses. The 275 brass band on the west side has they know of another band on the east side that's a brass band, and they're pretty much all retired band directors. So they're professional enough that actually we're going to have a Christmas concert here December 10th of the west side here in this building. But anyway, 2 brass bands together gives you a lot of sound, I think. They said that the conductor actually told me that he knows how to and has written music for vocal groups to come in and sing with them. He already knows how to do that. So then I went to the Voce Choir, and Karen Schweinvest and Nina Quinlivan, they have 60 choral members, and she said, oh yeah, we're in, we want to do that, that'd be great. So now we've got loud, good music, professional, and we've got 60 singers for patriotic, whatever we come up with. Third thing I did, I went to the Harrison Center for Arts under the direction of Mary Linning, and she's already had a pretty successful start. It's a new drama group here in the last couple years. But they have multi-aged actors and actresses who are local community theater performers. And they're excited to be a part of this as the history of America unfolds. Well, Mary, it turns out, is also a playwright. And she said, Brenda, I'll help you. What do you need? Let's get together. We'll write the script. We'll work it out together. And I said, oh, that'd be great, awesome. And none of this is going to happen until next year, so I'm just casting the vision that I have to you all tonight. So I think there's a lot that we can do with that. Well, I'll just keep telling you who all's in it, and then I'll tell you what the picture is going to look like. The Ohio Horsemen's Council, they would love to be a part of it. They want to bring their horses. They want to ride in period costumes. They went, okay, we can get a hold of muskets. We've done some things with John Hunt Morgan before. We are going to create the realness of history for a performance in this program, all right? Then I envision a narrator, and I've already met a great person to do it, a historian, who would picture the stage. He's on the stage just telling about a paragraph's worth of a story in time on a chronological timeline from our history, and he sets the scene. And so you end up seeing the scene, a particular scene shows up and things happen, and you've got music and patriotic things as you need it to bring all that forth. And at the same time, I want to do Crosby history. And I want Joab Comstock. He was the first person, one of the first to found this little town of New Haven and Crosby. let him come in first person and tell his story and at the right spot from the beginning to, you know, where we are today with America and the 250. Now, I've already put so many people in it that we've outspaced ourselves over here. Well, this isn't big enough, I don't think, for 60 singers and this and this and this and if all they came with their friends, it would be totally packed out. So I had to think about, and got some suggestions from some friends, but had to think about where is a larger venue that would work in Crosby Township? Duh, the great parks, duh, the harbor. We could ask for their stage, we can put it out there where they do their big things and bring all of this into that area, which will then taps us into, they're the last ones I have to talk with, by the way. I haven't talked with them yet. If you're out there, I hope you say yes. But anyway, what's cool about that is they've got the PR piece. They've got, you know, all the great parks they can send out, you know, whatever we need. And they'll probably want to collaborate with us to put this program on for a one-night evening. I have talked a little bit with Brian Dye about his ideas from the ICRC, and he was like, well, we could video program the whole thing. And we were talking, he goes, it'd be kind of interesting to have little clips of you all practicing, sitting around the table, like show what's happening, kind of to ever put the production on. And it could be kind of a commercial on there. It could maybe be something that's the intro to the actual program, that when it's shown that this is what Crosby Township's doing. And the way I've figured this out, I don't think it's going to require a whole lot of effort and time, and I'll tell you why. From my experience with putting on programs and things related to performances and baton twirling, all the things I've kind of done, all you got to do is you got to make sure everybody knows what they're going to do, and they do it well, they practice it on their own, and then they have, just like we do Memorial Day, then you just have to know when it's your turn to go on, and it just rolls. Everybody doesn't have to all come and spend hours and hours. You just have to be good at what you do, and it needs to be plugged in, and it works. I guess the last thing I thought would be really cool, I know there'll be a lot of fireworks around, you know, next summer, but I thought it would be really cool to kind of a neat surprise. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't tell this to everybody, I'm just kidding. But it would be so cool. I saw the things that they did at Taylor High School with the drone show. If it said something like, Crosby Township celebrates America, and all of a sudden you see all of that at the end over the stage, that's my ending. And it's cool, I'm just excited. So really, I'm at the spot where I now have to go to Great Parks, and my next step is just to get all those experts and leaders around that conference room table and let them begin to share what they can offer. And I already heard, oh, I know we can get some muskets. I know where there's some uniforms. I this, I that. So I think all we got to do is collaborate, share it, and do it. Ta-da, we're done. I think the expense probably is the drone show. That'll be the biggest thing if I can. And, you know, maybe we can, like you said, get some donors to support that, our sponsors, I mean, to do that. So I hope that wasn't too long, but well, that's what I wanted to say.
So as you take these ideas and add them to what you're already doing with the Senior Club and other community events, make sure that all gets in there, because those may need to be some line items. We talked about programs. You got the programs identified, but there's line items that you do for local concerts and senior activities and all those. And is there anything else we want to do for health and wellness for our seniors groups? Just be all-encompassing as you envision 26 to enable us to get to our BHAG in 10 years.
Got it.
Just think about it. Okay?
Got it.
We're at a 12-minute warning, so.
All right.
I tried to hurry.
Here you go, Rick. We're going to get you going. I'll take this up.
Oh, I got to read it.
Well, you've got to come with me. You've got to come with me. Zoning. What do you want to do next year?
Well, I'll keep it simple. We need a budget for zoning seminars online. They're not that expensive, and they're few, and they're usually sponsored by the Township Association. And pretty much is a budget for continuing education. Another thing, we need to set rules for public comment at township board meetings. Like an example, time limit, maximum 3 minutes. time limit for public comment portion of an agenda, possibly 30 minutes. Comment must be agenda item. Comment will only be recognized during that agenda item. These are just samples of, we need something that might even be posted here. If you're going to speak from the audience, you have to follow these rules. Another thing, which I just came about it, it's valuation methods of township properties as far as your insurance goes. We don't know what the value of these buildings are in the properties. And Oatmar members, they get a free appraisals. They'll come out and appraise it. They'll either appraise it for actual cash value, replacement cost, stated amount. If a tornado hits this place or the whole community, we need to know the value of all these properties so we can replace them. The last thing is review of our zoning fees. I did this once before. I think it's time to do it again to see how we are with the rest of the communities. And that's all I have.
We don't have any values on our insurance policy?
I don't know.
Should be.
I mean, there's three different, I mean, there's,
All the equipment does, I know.
but I mean, like,
But as far as the buildings, I'm gonna have to take a look.
well, they've got free appraisals in which, and then you have to decide how you want to insure it, whether it's actual cash value or replacement cost or stated amount policy. That's where you have to review. I mean, you pay.
I'll look at that. I got a copy at home.
Anybody else for more ideas for zoning? All right.
Good.
Thanks, Rick.
Thanks, Rick.
All right, we got maintenance.
I got Jim and Jim.
Jim and Jim. All right.
I guess I'm now part of maintenance. Yeah.
I will get you a t-shirt next week.
Thank you.
Hey, she likes cutting grass on tractors.
I do like that. All right, my committee says that in the future, we're going to need more employees. We have 6.5 employees now, and they work 12 hours a day, as it is now. So if we're
Just a
going
week.
2 hours a week.
a week, 12 hours a week. So we have 6.5 right now. We addressed the marquee sign. The marquee signage needs to be upgraded. They plan to pave the streets in New Baltimore, pave the sidewalk and make it handicapped accessible. Pickleball courts, Jim already said he had bids for that. Lawnmower purchase, maybe every year, every other year, we may have to purchase lawnmowers. IT training from the maintenance management department might be needed. In the budget, we need to include tools, salt, work uniforms, playground updates. I think Jim also has a bid for playgrounds, is that right? Swing set, okay. And we have to put trucks in when needed. Right now, we're in good shape, but you just never know. Okay. Anything else?
Anything else for maintenance?
All right.
All right, thank you.
Come up here. I'll get him.
That mic is on, isn't it?
Explain it better.
Make sure that's on. Just tap it. Okay. Just making sure.
The hiring of the employees is, if we do everything that everybody's suggestion, we're not gonna be able to get done. We ain't got enough employees to do that, to take care of everything that's on these boards. So, then the problem to have is that you're gonna have to have temp help, because most of the stuff's in the summertime, you don't need them in the wintertime. So you have to make a decision what, you're gonna hire high school kids to come in or in the summertime and take weed, eat, mow, because in the wintertime, you don't need as many people as you do in the summertime, taking care of ball fields. And another thing that's not on there is if you're gonna have pickleball courts, basketball courts, and everything in a baseball field, you got baseball games, there's not enough parking. And there's nowhere to expand the parking.
Yeah, there is. Gotta buy more land.
You know, buy, well. And the neighbors gotta be willing to sell the land to you too. So we can't buy land someplace else. So that's a couple things you gotta look at about parking. If you have a baseball game going, people come play pickleball.
Okay. You gotta find a solution to that parking problem.
You gotta
All right.
find a solution.
For the money, for the people. All right.
5-minute warning.
Here you go. I'll take it for you.
All right.
Fire department.
Some of the simple, easy things of fire and EMS, continue and maintain education for the community. Maintain upkeep on the safety vehicles. I think we're doing a good job on that right now. In 2023, we had a new fire engine. And in May, March, April, May, we'll have a new paramedic unit arriving. More maintain pub ed details. We do a good amount of that with Strickers Grove and the parks, sometimes here at the community center. So the big needs are for SCBA masks. Our packs are older. The technology's better now. The packs are lighter. And an SCBA compressor / fill station to fill those bottles. The one we currently have now was been donated to us from Elmwood Place back in, I think, 07. A new Life Pack heart monitor. What that is, that's on our Life Squad. It shows the heart rhythm. We can shock people. That's older. A full-time, part-time pay increase, which happens every year just about. And then for 2026, electric vehicle fire suppression equipment. We're seeing more electric vehicles in our community, and we'll need some blankets and some other suppression tools to combat those fires. A wish list would be a gear extractor / dryer. Right now, if we want our fire gear clean, we have to go to a surrounding community, meaning Harrison, Whitewater, or Ross, to clean our gear. And then another one we talked about earlier today was computers and phone system. We need printers too, especially now with the new addition offices. We need at least 2 more printers. One to replace the one we have now, which is older and only black and white, and it does not scan. So we need a 1-color printer, and both printers should have scanning capabilities. And the other 2 things were 3 and 5 years down, which are on the list for the 3 and 5 year strategic priorities.
In my guess, Jason, if we don't do those things, there's significant risk to our community members and to your profession.
I have handouts for all the trustees and the 2 fiscal officers on the 2026 items, explaining why they're needed and prices that I looked up back in June, July for those. I'll hand those out when I'm done tonight.
You don't have office equipment for the new offices.
Correct. That's in the packet. Yeah. Obviously, office equipment, chairs, desks, because we're adding offices. We're going from 1 to 4. So,
Yeah. Have you
some-
looked at any prices yet on that?
not yet. No. We couldn't get in there. We had to measure to see what we're dealing with. Each room's a little different.
Yeah.
So we'll measure and then try to find some something that fits in those rooms.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, any questions, comments? We thank Jason and Jim for the job done.
I would think if you're gonna do a powerhouse, you probably need a tax leverage to pay for that. Is it like $4 million?
That was in the 35-year plan, so.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah, I mean, that's,
right now we're taking money out of the general funds to cover the fire department.
yeah, it's,
So, you
better
know,
hurry, Charlie, you got a minute.
So,
My watch must be running slow. I got 4 minutes on this watch.
This is,
It's synced up. All right. Well, this is going to be probably bad news for, as opposed to all the great things that everybody else is doing. I got to pay the back payroll taxes, penalties, and interest because I don't want to go to jail. So we're going to get that done. Make sure that we have great internal controls. You guys had a audit last January, and then they sent me a letter on the 30th of the month that says, you guys have inadequate management controls. And, oh, by the way, you have inadequate controls over all your tax filings. So that's the reason they're at the top of the list. Beef up and secure IT, phones, admin, fire, and EMT. So this is the IT infrastructure. In some organizations, IT does report to the CFO, and so we'll do that. I just said optimize payroll. It takes Jamie a lot of work in payroll and all the UAN stuff. I'm just saying optimize. I don't know if that means outsource, supplement, whatever, but it takes an awful lot of labor. And then I'm kind of a closet guy when it comes to artificial intelligence. And I had another 3-hour seminar on it this week. We need to learn to integrate AI into some, and we'll crawl, walk, run marathons fast, but you got to get started. This technology is exploding, and it's interfacing with almost every corporation in America, small, medium, and large. And if you don't do it, you're either going to be ineffective, inefficient, or both. And we don't have competitors, but our competition is really us underserving our constituents in this community. So I want to integrate AI into many of the things that we're doing. And I know it scares the hell out of a lot of people, but it's not scary. We got to look at it as our thought partner as opposed to a replacement for any of the jobs that get done. It's a thought partner. It can influence your business, Rick. It can influence every business in here and every department in here. It just means we got to get educated, learn how to write. Really, there's an acronym called CRIT. Context. The R is really roles and responsibilities of executing that content. Then you ask it to interview you one question at a time. Say, what were you thinking of here? And then the T is the list of tasks and activities that get assigned to people by dates in order to implement AI. So I can teach that someday if you want, but I think it needs to be brought in so that we can be more effective and more efficient in meeting all the current and demanding growth of everything that's going on in this community going forward. So those were my ideas. I'm open for the input.
Pay the fines.
What's that?
Pay the fines.
Pay the fines.
I'd hate to come visit you in jail.
I'm not going to be in jail.
you're going to go visit him
He probably wouldn't visit either.
to sign some things?
All right. Questions, comments? We're out of time.
Yep.
I'll key all this in, get it back to you. You update it. That's your what list, and I want you to put it in priority sequence. We're not going to have time to do that activity, but usually I'll have people go up and put priorities on everybody's. You can do that alone, and then you'll get it prioritized, and you say, okay, there's the funding required. Make sure that you look at alternative sources of funding. Make sure you look at alternative ways of doing the work to make sure that you're doing it on time, at the lowest cost, with the best quality and scope that is possible for this community. So it's not just the low bid, it's the low bid at the best scope, quality, on the right time frame. Final comments before we adjourn, because I'm going to go to Doug for the adjournment announcement. Any comments, questions? Is this useful to help us get ready to frame our budget requests? Yep. All right. I need a trustee to ask that we adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
I'll second.
All right, roll call. Mr. Hyab.
Yeah.
Mr. Lohman.
Yes.
And Chuck must be gone, so we'll go to our replacement.
No.
No, can't do
You only
that.
need 2 votes, so.
We only need 2 votes. All right. The adjournment passes. What time did we close?
9:04.
9:04. I'm over budget and time.